to do that. Now, Dr. Nalani does something called craniosacral biodynamics. And she is currently working on this child who is, quote unquote, autistic. Of course, the child was vaccinated and some of them dropped and so forth, but they're talking about, well, autism is not what you think it is. It's not, it's bullshit. It's toxic poisoning, and it happens mostly to boys. Okay? So autism is a boy's disease, and they attack the boys that way. But there is a science that our ancestors used to do. Just like the hugging that we showed. But there is a way for your body. Your body communicates in so many different languages that the relative language we use now to speak and the quantumized languages that is in your body based on how your blood works, based on how certain fluids work, your spinal fluid works, based on how the air in your body, because your body is not just a flat piece of meat and then you just breathe through the lungs. There are aeriferous passages all through your body that does not have any blood in them. And air is in there as well. So there are different ways that your body speaks. In fact, it becomes this choir. It either sings or screams. And that's why your organs are musical instruments. Each organ is within the body, and what is a body? Another word for a body? Church. So the church has an organ that people play. And you heard in one of my last lectures, I think it was the one I did, Code Breakers, where the church organ can get you into feeling God. Why? Because the music of the church organ synchronistically or synergistically links up with the harmonics of your organ, which is actually playing certain notes that represent the music of your inner spheres.
That's why it hits the solar plexus.
Well, the solar plexus, yes, is the sun center of your body. But the organs like the liver and the heart, the kidneys, the pancreas, each one vibrates on its own tone. When that note goes dissonant or flat, that's when disease comes in. The health that you get is based upon you cleansing the pipes and the organs so that the music may be played once more. When each organ is playing in synchronicity, have you ever awakened when you just felt so good? There was nothing resisting your body. You could do whatever you wanted with your body and you felt good. That's the youth energy that still resides there, you see. But you have to get the organs playing the right notes. You see the violins and just like an orchestra. You're a walking orchestra. I mean, if the violins ain't playing on key and the piano ain't on key and so forth, how's the orchestra going to make music? It's the same thing with your body. Yes, somebody was over here. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that in the native tradition, I could say this for most native tribes, is that when the baby is toddling around and it's at the age where you can talk to it, most of the tradition is that you don't talk to the child. You don't tell the child, no, don't do this, or yes, you can do this. You imitate what it is that you want. And so we allowed the children to just watch us. So if it was bedtime, everyone went to bed, the child sees this and he or she imitates.
Exactly.
Or if you're eating, you just show the food.
Right.
The baby starts doing it.
Right.
And so most of the baby coming up until a certain age was taught like that.
Imitation, yes.
And didn't talk to the baby in the manner that...
Exactly, exactly. That's the connection where the child is not interrupted by the first-hand experience.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Because in American Sign Language, the babies who have been born, most deaf children are born to hearing parents. And so hearing parents think that they have to know, they have to speak, they try to force them to speak. But the language that Sister Puma is talking about is sign language. And sign language, they call it American Sign, but there's sign language. It has no, there are different ways of using sign language. But the point that I just wanted to make there, that it's a wonderful thing, because when a child grows up learning sign language, there's a developmental stage, there's a part of the brain that functions differently from a hearing child that functions with just using the voice, using language that you speak. Deaf child has a different type functioning in the brain, in the language section of the brain. Now there are hearing children who are born to deaf parents who really are exceptional because they have both. They learn their first language is the language of sign. So that has enabled them to develop a certain part of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Then their second language is a vocal, a voice, a language that you use the voices. And so what Sister Puma was saying, that's a wonderful thing to be able to have them both and not have to be deaf to be able to develop that part of your brain. And we could get into that more and learn how to use that to strengthen ourselves, strengthen our children, to give them a part of a state of development that they would not have had otherwise.
Very good.
The foundation of all native tradition is not to talk. You don't need.
Yes, I noticed that. I was watching a documentary where two native men, there was this loud amount of celebrating going on. And most of the people, the white people, were shouting and talking, yelling at one another, right? The two native men were sitting across from one another, and it was standing right there. It was like, and they were.
Right.
And then the other one would, and the thing about the native and people, indigenous people, Africa, all of it, they have this stoic energy, this peace, this kind of attention that is missing from the person who comes from out of the city. And to watch them speak to one another with no expression on their face. Whereas American Sign Language, quote unquote, is about expression. And it was deep to watch the native people just some like that. And he was just, and the other one was like, and it's like one would stand like this and he would listen. And then, after he would finish, go to the other. Peace. There is this peace. There is this placidness that I don't see here. There's overactivity. And of course, it comes from a place where the white man was hyperactive to begin with. Coming up into the indigenous cultures, demanding the way he did everything to be done today, now. We'll get to it. There's a whole other time sequence. We get up, we do certain things at a time, do that. But the white man's hyperactivity translates into the way he communicates. They tried to give you some semblance of native peoples in dances with wolves. And they want to give you a little bit of that. But they always isolate you and think that, we're doing Native American religion and culture. No, you're not. You're just pimping what you think they're doing. You see, and then you're wholesaling it for $10,000, which is bullshit. But I know I'm off the track. Where we are now, let me just bring us back because we got about 5 minutes. Where we are as a people now, as a spiritual people, as a structure of consciousness, is that we have to now take, and I'm saying this now because the little bodies of consciousness that I'm going to be holding